Max Christensen III joins us from ESPN and ESPN Plus for this episode of NFL Talking Points, going over the full playoff picture. You do not want to miss this one. Let's get into it. Welcome in Max Christensen. He does work on ESPN Radio and ESPN Plus on TV in Utah. My cousin, Max, how are you doing, my guy?
I'm doing great, brother. Thanks for having me on today. I appreciate it. It's an honor and a pleasure to finally jump on the historic sports podcast that you have rolling, man.
It is fun to do it. I am so pumped to have you on. Dude, this guy knows ball, and he's a Texans fan, so we're going to begin in the AFC. Texans are sitting at the 5 seed. What are you looking at when you look at this AFC playoff picture? Specifically, give me like a team an underdog that could maybe shine in this playoff picture.
Yeah, man. I mean, AFC's wide open. To me, the NFC is a pretty clear picture. AFC, it's wide open because everybody's beating everybody, right? I mean, you look at it and it's like the Texans beat the Bills, but the Broncos beat the Texans, but the Jaguars beat the Broncos. Okay, it's just one eternal round, and then you have the Patriots sitting there with Drake May, the Chargers with Justin Herbert. What are they going to look like with a rebuilt offensive line coming into the playoffs? It's a mess, and so the AFC is as wide open as it's been in a long time. Okay. And an underdog, which shocks me that they're an underdog, right? That we can even say this, but the line right now for the Bills-Jaguars game, Bills are a 1.5 favorite. Jaguars are an underdog in this whole deal. Okay, Jaguars finishing at 13-4. You know, Trevor Lawrence is the prince that was promised, right? He's the next Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and just the next number one quarterback to be filled with greatness. And he hasn't lived up to the billing until this season. Liam Cohen getting him going, blah, blah, blah. I'm an AFC South guy, like you said, originally from Houston, big-time Texans fan. Got to see the Jaguars up close and personal. And, I mean, they got to be the dark horse in the AFC to come out not only to be in the AFC Championship, but to represent them in the Super Bowl. So if I was to pick an underdog, okay, I get it. Texans are a 5 seed, Steelers are a 4 seed, but Texans are still a 3-point favorite out there in Pittsburgh on Monday. And so, as from an underdog standpoint in the AFC right now, it's got to be the Jaguars being a home underdog. I get it, the reigning, defending MVP and Josh Allen, but they also have the worst run defense in football. So
absolutely, that's the killer for me. I was looking at offensive EPA throughout the year and defensive EPA throughout the year for all of the teams, and the two things that stood out to me: the Bills' run defense is the only defense that's going down throughout the season. It's the worst in this playoff picture. And the other thing that stood out to me was more on the NFC side, so we'll get to that later. It seems like you're excited for this Bills-Jaguars game, and who wouldn't be? I think both of these teams have something to prove. I think the Bills need it more. More of the pressure right now is on this Bills team. The Jaguars are kind of playing with house money at home. I totally see where you're coming from there. As a home team to be the underdog going into the playoffs, you can see why, because the Bills have Josh Allen, they have James Cook, they have this crazy, incredible offense, but absolutely you can see that going the other way. Give me your AFC playoff picture the way you see it up until the conference championship.
Of course I got to be biased. Of course I got to ride a little bit with my boys. A lot of people haven't been impressed with Denver's offense. Okay? Their defense has been phenomenal. Offense kind of plays to the level of their competition, besides the Jaguars game, where the Jaguars dog-walked them in Denver. Okay, I'm going to lean on the best defense in football right now, hailing from the Clutch City, hailing from, Space City, down there in Houston. Okay, defense and run game travels. We might not have a great run game, but defense travels. Okay, so I got the Texans beating the Steelers. I got the Texans beating the Broncos, okay, and rolling into the AFC Championship, okay. Patriots and Chargers, very intriguing, okay. Drake May, very intriguing, all right. I got the Patriots getting past the Chargers in the first round. And then the Jaguars Bills is so hard. Okay? Because it's like the Jaguars are this great team, great offense, great defense. They're doing a lot really well. But like you said, it is the pressure on Josh Allen. Josh Allen, if you don't get it done this year, then when? Right? There's no Joe Burrow. There's no Patrick Mahomes. There's no Lamar Jackson. Okay?
Yes.
You have to get it done this year. So simply because of the pressure, I know I just went on a soliloquy and a diatribe as the Jaguars are a home underdog and why I think the Jaguars should be favored in that game when it comes to a betting standpoint. But let me take the Bills over the Jaguars, squeak out a win in Jacksonville, okay? And then I will pick the Bills because again, we saw the Bills get down 21-0, 28-0 to the Patriots this season, come back and win, okay? So I think it's going to be an AFC East matchup in the quarterfinals, Patriots Bills. Give me the Bills just from an experience standpoint, okay? Give Drake May one more season. You want to give him the MVP, that's fine. It's valid, but then I got Bills, Texans in the AFC Championship.
Love it. I am very similar. I've got Pats beating Chargers. The offensive line for the Chargers just isn't good enough to compete against a team like the Patriots. Texans over Steelers. The Texans defense is just the best in the league, and I think that gets it done. And I do have Bills over Jaguars as well. Both of us are kind of pointing out that the Jaguars are underdogs at home, but both of us are picking the Bills, so that's probably why Vegas has that line at 1.5 for the Bills. I've got the Bills going to Denver, and I've got Denver taking care of business coming off of their bye at home. I think their defense is just going to be good enough, and their run game has improved throughout the season. I've got the Texans over the Patriots. Again, just a phenomenal defense. I give the edge to that Texans defense, even with their offense having come down a step from previous years. So for me, I've got Broncos Texans in the conference championship. Moving on to the NFC. For me, the biggest upset that could happen is Packers Bears. It's a division game, dude. Anything can happen. The Packers really are favored right now, so maybe I'm not picking the upset according to Vegas, but I am taking the 7 seed over the 2 seed. You can see I've got my Packers beanie on. Yeah. To me, it looks like, just looking at the previous 2 games in this season, Packers really were dominating both games until the very end. And for me, I just see that the Packers are getting healthy after a mini bye week, coming off of week 18, that we didn't have to play any of our starters. And the rest of my playoff field, I've got the Eagles over the 49ers just because of their defense. And the 49ers defense just has too many injuries to compete. I've got the Rams over the Panthers. The Panthers needed 15 different wacky turnover, crazy plays to beat them by 3 points earlier in the season. Give me the Rams. And I've got the Seahawks and Rams going to the conference championship. They're just too well-rounded, both phenomenal defenses, both with high-powered flying offenses who have a run game, who have a quarterback playing well. For me, I just don't see any other way besides Rams, Seahawks, unless maybe the 49ers pull it off against the Eagles and can have some sort of something happen with a game against the Rams in a divisional game. What do you see in this NFC?
Yeah, I think the NFC, like I said, the NFC is a pretty clear-cut picture, okay? Whereas, again, I got the Bills as a 6 seed and the the Texans as a 5 seed going to the AFC Championship, and the NFC pretty cut and dry, okay? The Rams are the 5 seed, but technically they're the second best team in the it's just so weird how it all works, right? Should Carolina be hosting the playoff game? Okay, they're a 10.5 point underdog. Okay, they're what? They're like the largest home playoff underdog since like 1966 or something like that.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Just bad. I think it's pretty cut and dry the way that it runs. Okay, no one is going into the playoffs worse than your Green Bay Packers. Okay, you can't even say that they're limping into the playoffs. They are crawling into the playoffs with all their injuries. Tucker Kraft out for the year. Micah Parsons out for the year. Jordan Love's super banged up. Okay, like everybody. I mean, just everywhere you turn at a critical position, somebody has gone down. Okay, and so give me the Bears over the Packers. Okay, Eagles 49ers. I like the Eagles over the 40, especially the showing the 49ers had against Seahawks the other day. 3 points at home with the number 1 seed on the line, and now you got to go to Philly. Now you got to enter that behemoth. I get it. Everybody's been out on the Eagles, but they're still the defending champs.
Here, 1 second. What? My fire alarm's going off. Give me
I love it, dude. Hey,
10 seconds.
Hey, because we're spitting fire right now, brother. That's what it is.
Oh, no. Oh, boy. Okay. Did you hear that fire alarm going off that entire time?
I couldn't tell if it was on my end or yours.
Okay.
I'm hearing it. I thought it was coming from me. I was like, is something being burned downstairs? Whatever. I don't care. We're spitting fire right now. That's probably why the alarm's going off. Okay. But yeah, I couldn't, dude. I thought it was on my end. I thought it was coming from my kitchen.
My headphones just completely blocked out that sound. I didn't even hear it. And then, okay, whatever. Anyway, so you're saying NFC, it mostly straightforward. Talk about the Eagles defense and the 49ers with their issues. Continue.
Yeah. Bears over the Packers, Eagles over the 49ers. Okay. Give me the Rams over the Panthers, right? I mean, I get it. It's the Steelers and the Texans, same thing. Where it's like you're looking at it, the 4-5, and you're like, okay, the Texans probably a better football team than the Steelers. The Rams probably a better football team than the Panthers. I think it's going to be closer than 10.5, though. I think the Panthers do cover. Okay, I don't think they just get dog walked in Charlotte doing that whole thing. I think they do cover 10.5.
Yeah, and Bryce Young has played his best ball when they are the least likely to win the game. I mean, every time you doubt Bryce Young, that's when he puts on his best performance. And being 10.5-point underdogs at home in a playoff game, this is a perfect moment for Bryce Young to say, I'm still a number 1 overall pick. Like,
Absolutely.
Give me some flowers here. I do agree with you that, I mean, the Rams are going to win, but I wouldn't be shocked with the Panthers cover at all.
Sure.
Continue on with your divisional and conference games.
Yeah, so then in the divisional, you're gonna see Rams Seahawks again, which possibly played the game of the year this year. Okay, that game, and it'll be again up in Seattle.
2 right games of the year.
Yes. That second game they played up in Seattle, though, goes into overtime. Seattle goes for 2, wins the ball game. Give me the Seahawks over the Rams again, okay? So then we're looking at Eagles, Bears, Seahawks, Rams. Give me the Seahawks advantage to the NFC Championship. And then give me the Eagles over the Bears, okay? Again, purely out of experience, all right? All right, I misspoke when talking about the AFC, right? I mean, it would be Texans, Patriots, Bills, Denver, but still the same matchup. I'm looking at the same Buffalo, the Bills, and the Texans in the AFC Championship. The same thing. Eagles, Seahawks in the NFC Championship. Okay, and you could argue the Bears are probably a more complete, better team than the Eagles. But I don't count out Nick Sirianni, okay? Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown. These guys will spit in your face and beat you up in the parking lot, okay? The Bears just aren't there yet. Give me the Eagles over the Bears to go to the NFC Championship.
I love it. I'm with you there. I just think this, specifically on the defensive side, this Eagles defense is up there with teams like the Texans and Broncos in the AFC. They've just got such a good defense. For me, the Eagles kind of remind me of the Texans in a way. Their offense is having some kind of struggles that they haven't had in the past, but their defense is just carrying them through all these different games. And we always say defense wins championships. It's because when you get into the playoffs and your offense that has been high-flying all year goes against a defense that has played well like the Eagles have, there's just a lot less competition. And on the Bears side, it's their defense. If you take out the turnovers, if you take the takeaways away, they're one of the worst in the league. So and Jalen Hurts doesn't provide takeaways as good as anyone in the league. So yeah, give me Eagles in that scenario. So I've got Texans and Broncos and Rams Seahawks. I'm taking the Rams against the Seahawks in the conference championship game. For me, I just think that the Rams are more well balanced, and as much as I don't want to say this, I can't quite trust Sam Darnold in that big of a spot to put together a performance good enough for as well as rounded as this Rams team is. And I do have the Broncos getting in over your Texans because I just think their offense has a little bit of an edge against the Texans' offense. And that's really all I can base this off of. I think both defenses are phenomenal, elite. I think the Texans' defense is a step higher than the Broncos' defense, but the Broncos' defensive line is one of the best in the league, and so I've got to take the Broncos. For me, whoever comes out of the NFC is your Super Bowl champion. I just think that whether it's the Rams, the Seahawks, the Eagles, give me whoever comes out of the NFC to win the Super Bowl. What do you have in your Super Bowl matchup?
I'll agree with that standpoint. From the winner of the NFC is going to be the winner of the Super Bowl. Okay, like I said, I have Texans Bills. I have the Bills getting past the Broncos in the divisional round. Again, what have you done for me lately is kind of the message that I've seen with the playoffs. Okay, because you look at it, there's a whole lot of quarterbacks in the AFC that don't have a playoff win. That are coming into the playoffs right now. Okay. Bo Nix with the Broncos. May with the Patriots. I don't think Trevor Lawrence with the Jaguars has a playoff win.
He did. He beat Justin Herbert in
That's
that
right.
crazy comeback.
That's right.
Like 28-point comeback the other year.
That
So
was
Justin Herbert
how
is actually the one that needs that playoff win.
Trevor Lawrence threw 4 picks in the first half.
Yes.
In Jacksonville.
Yep.
The Chargers were up, 28-0? And then they ended up coming back. I mean, and I was screaming. I was like, listen, the Chargers should not let that coach on the plane coming home. Fire him in Jacksonville and make him find his own way home. You're right. You're right. Okay. But so there's a lot of quarterbacks in the playoff that don't have playoff experience. Even Sam Darnold hasn't won a playoff game yet as a starting quarterback. And so Texans and Bills in the AFC. Okay. Again, Josh Allen, if you can't do it this year, buddy, when you gonna do it? Okay. But give me the Texans coming out of the AFC. Okay. We played Josh Allen weeks ago with their 2 starting tackles in place. Okay. And Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown for the Buffalo Bills. We sacked Josh Allen 10 times. Sacked him 10 times. Again, it was in Houston. Sacked him 10 times.
Yes.
Okay. So give me the Texans to go to the Super Bowl with the best defense in football. That's not out of the realm of possibility.
Absolutely not.
Okay. If we can, the narrative has been if we can hold teams under 24 points, we win the football game over the last 9 weeks of the season.
Yes.
So I'm there with that. Give me the Texans out of the AFC, and Seahawks and Eagles in the NFC Championship is who I have. Okay. Again, what have you done for me lately? The champs are the champs until said otherwise. Give me the Eagles over the Seahawks in the NFC Championship. Like you said, I think Sam Darnold gets it done. He's done it against the Rams this season already in a high-pressure moment, okay? He hasn't seen Jalen Carter and the boys in a high-pressure moment, okay? That defensive line getting after you, the Eagles. And again, it's not going to be a high-scoring game. Seahawks defense is very, very good. Eagles offense is kind of abysmal. Kind of like you said, the Texans and the Eagles kind of mirror each other, which means fire both offensive coordinators after this season. Okay?
Yes.
I am all on that. The Eagles fans are screaming to fire their guy. That's been that way since week 2.
Yes.
I have been yelling from the top of from the rooftops. Fire whoever is our offensive coordinator. I can't remember his name. Fire this guy.
Kevin Patullo, get him out of there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Patullo in Philly's bad. What are they calling him in Philadelphia? Patu Blow or something like that? It is awful. Those guys have done it in the highest pressure of moments. Nobody really with the Seahawks has yet. Okay, I think the Seahawks are a year away. I think the Bears are a year away. I think the Broncos are a year away. Give me the Eagles to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, and then I will bend the knee. Eagles beat the Texans in Super Bowl, 60 in San Fran?
Yes,
so,
San Francisco.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. It's hard to bet against the Eagles. I mean, they have been in that playoff mix and in the Super Bowl mix for the last 3 or 4 years. It's hard to count them out of anything. And I mean, until they don't win another Super Bowl, they're the last Super Bowl champs. So I get you.
Everybody's talked for the last half of the season like they're dead, like they're trash, like they're nobody. Do we realize? Again, I get it's not the full same team, but this is pretty much the same complement of players that dog walked your guys' dynasty off the field last year. Okay, in the Super Bowl and did all these things. They're pretty much the same cast of characters here. Okay,
with a couple upgrades in the defense.
Who can turn it on whenever? You have the exciting whites on the back end. You have Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis on the front end. Okay, until proven otherwise, guys. These guys. I know a lot of people are going to be shocked at the fact I picked the Eagles come out of the NFC, but it's like these guys aren't poo-poo cheese like everybody thinks. Yes. Okay, I don't understand why everybody just can't. And watch these guys just get blown out in the first round, right? I mean, as I'm sitting here talking about this, but yeah, until proven otherwise, I think the Eagles 49ers game is going to be real close. I'm not saying the Eagles are going to blow anybody out, but the champs are the champs until proven otherwise. I think the Eagles repeat this season.
And they don't need to blow anybody out. Their defense is their strength. A lot of people give this Texans team this identity because of their defense. And for some reason, the Eagles haven't been afforded that same level because even though their defense is absolutely like a top 3 defense up there with the Texans and Broncos, it's just not talked about because of the way this offense has looked compared to prior years. So I'm absolutely there with you. If this Texans defense can get them to the Super Bowl, why can't the Eagles defense get them to that same Super Bowl? And when this Eagles offense is on a roll, when you've got Saquon Barkley, when you've got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and Jalen Hurts is playing well, this offense really is as good as it gets. I mean, there's so many pieces here. You just need to have less stupid play calls, and this offense could flourish. At any moment, this team could go off. So not a shock at all to have the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Max, thank you so much for joining this program. This has been one of my favorite episodes I've ever done. And I mean, how can it not with the playoffs? I mean, it's just everything it culminates throughout the whole season to this moment here. Anything that you want to plug or talk about on the way out?
Yeah, no, dude, I appreciate you, cuz, having me on. This is the best time of year. College football playoffs, NFL playoffs. I mean, doesn't get much better than that. 2 things real quick. As a Texans fan, I mean, again, I'm just saying this right now. The reason, if it's not now, CJ Stroud's never getting to the Super Bowl. Okay? You have the best defense in football. How long is that going to last? We don't know. A lot of these guys are going to have to get paid. You're going to have to pay Will Anderson Jr. a boatload of money. You're going to have to pay CJ Stroud a boatload of money. If not now, then never for CJ Stroud. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, this is the Texans' best time. You got to pick them. And I understand. And the second thing, I understand the Seahawks are the team of destiny. I understand the Seahawks have the Holy Trinity on their side. Okay, I saw a stat a couple days ago where it said that every time, this has been considered, they've already done it twice. The Pope gets elected. The Seahawks win 13 games, and they go to the Super Bowl. Okay? That happened in 2005. It happened, in like 2012 or something like that. And then it's happened this year, where the Pope got elected, The Seahawks won 13 games in that same year.
And got the 1 seed.
And got the 1 seed. And the last 2 times that those 2 things have happened, the third thing is they've ended up in the Super Bowl. Okay? So I understand that they have something on their side as well. But again, the champs are the champs until proven otherwise. Okay? And so, I mean, I got to ride with the Eagles. I got to ride with my hometown Texans. I know you'd probably be a big-time homer if it wasn't for all your injuries. I'm sure you'd be picking the Packers to go to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. Maybe you guys are a year away too.
I think if without injuries, which is always a caveat, this absolutely could have been a year to go. But it is one of the most competitive NFCs that I think I've ever watched. And in addition to that, like you said, so many injuries. We do have a lot of guys getting back. Josh Jacobs, Zach Tom, our right tackle, is coming back from injury. Jordan Love is not on the injury report for the first time since like week 8. Like there are some things improving. That's the only reason I'm really giving the edge to them over Chicago in the wild card round. But outside of that, I'm totally with you. Just too many injuries to go deep in this NFC specifically. Max, thank you so much for joining me on NFL Talking Points. I really do appreciate you hopping on, and go Texans.
Texans, baby.
That will do it for us today. Let us know what you think about our playoff predictions, and give us your own playoff predictions. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl this year? Until next time, and as always, heed the call.